Hi guys, back again. So just going to record the UK leaving video, the living in Cayman Islands video, and now back to offshore companies. So this one is all about why I would never ever again set up an offshore company in Dubai. When I say offshore, I've done it, Ajman, and I closed it down. And here's the truth: nobody selling you a cheap UAE package tells you. Offshore isn't in the UAE what you actually think. So in the UAE, offshore usually means a JFZA offshore, RAC, or historically the Ajman offshore. These aren't classic offshores like BVI or Nevis. They're basically SPVs with tight restrictions. So no onshore trading. There is a visa process you can do through them, which I obviously did. But at the end of the day, they're really limited in practical use. So if your plan is privacy, low friction, UAE offshore is most likely the wrong tool here, okay? So compliance is tightened, economic substance, ESR, UBO registers, and the AML uplift apply across these UAE zones, and that kills set and forget myth, right? So the Ajman specifically of why I closed mine is UAE banks, I'm not actually fond of, I'm not fond of UAE banks at all. I like European banking. So they apply a risk-based AML approach. For offshore entities without substance, onboarding is slow, documentation is heavy, and often ends with a no. If you do get an account, again, moving money back into an onshore environment can then get blocked, right? So at the end of the day, it's really, I don't advise on UAE banking. Don't think it's good at all. But again, you can't really build real operations under the Ajman offshore. It's not a platform for staff presence or scale. If you need a team and presence, you're in a free zone or mainland territory is an entire different base, essentially, right? So if you're looking at getting a big business over there, the DMCCs, there's all of these, right? We're a little bit more prestigious outlooks, but I don't really recommend UAE for business at all, actually, which is quite the opposite, Yes, for living is okay for 90 days, 6 months, a year. Maybe you need an offshore company for that, but not for using it for that one right there. So property limitations as well. The Dubai Land Department recognition for offshore property holdings is generally the JFZA and the RAC. Ajman isn't recognised as a standard for Dubai real estate. If your plan wants to hold Dubai property that offshore, you cannot hold this through a BVI code. You actually need a local UAE code. Usually this would be a Russell Kmart, a RAC company formation. And again, if you did need help with doing this, we can obviously get you sorted out right there. So the UAE also introduced 9% corporate tax effective for years starting June 1st, 2023. So free zone entities can still get 0%, but only for qualifying income and only if they meet substance activity and compliance tests, audited accounts, TP, other stuff like this, and fail any of that, you're at 9%. This is not simply a tax-free forever story. So if you grabbed an Ajman free zone or random free zone company expecting global profits to magically untax with no footprint, you'll spend more time providing why you still qualify than actually doing business, if that kind of makes sense. So that's an interesting kind of angle to go at this one here. And again, economic substance regulations, if you do carry a relevant activity, you need to file a test, you need to file this, you need to demonstrate actual substance, people, permissions, spend, and penalties apply if anything's done wrong. The UBO register, again, the UAE also requires real beneficial owner disclosure and ongoing updates. So much for the anonymous LLC. And then there's AML and Go AML. So banks and other regulated enterprises over in the United Arab Emirates under heavy CFT and AML scrutiny. So again, expect detailed source of funds and detailed documents that take you so long to actually. You probably need an entire team to even provide them, to be honest. So banking, not great. I'm not pro-UAE banking. I'm pro-European banking. Switzerland, pro-Singapore banking. I'm also pro-London banking as well. So yes, London has its problems, but it's still the home of banking, UAE is a new country. Yes, we have these DIFC foundations, all of these types of special vehicles over in Dubai, and other emirates, right? But at the end of the day, it's probably not a place I would trust. It's not in common law, it's in the actual Arabic law. It's a very interesting new system that's quickly actually developed, and I think it's going to be having a lot of scrutiny come into play moving forward, especially from the OECD and other regulatory providers in terms of governments around the world. So better alternatives, unless you're buying UAE property and if you're not living in actual UAE, there's no need for you to actually have an offshore company there. You've got British Virgin Islands, you've got Cayman Islands, you've got the Seychelles, right? If you're looking for asset protection and privacy, with Cook Islands Trust at the top, with a BVI or Nevis holdco beneath, a mature case law, robust trustee ecosystem, and a broad banking acceptance, with operational companies, XYZ, there's many different cases, but you will not be needing the actual Ajman, right? So I set up the actual Ajman. I saw the limits, banking, friction, property recognition issues over in UAE, and I closed it. Essentially, it was very expensive as well, if you want the truth. So if you want a simple, defensible structure that banks well, scales, and UAE offshore isn't your first pick, use UAE only when your assets or counterparty is in the UAE, and pick the right tool, such as like a Russell Kmart company for property, a true free zone with substance if you're really operating there. So if you do need this done properly, FPS designs actually the evidence-based structures with Cook Islands Trust, BVI, actual Nevis for protection and privacy, with a Russell Kmart RAC ICC company for Dubai real estate if it's needed, and substance-ready free zone setups only if you actually want a UAE base with corporate tax, ESR, audited accounts, and AML actual handled. We work with the licensed trustees, on-ground councils, and banking partners around the world, and we'll tell you when not to use the UAE. So what you can do is you can book a confidential call. The links are in description. I hope you enjoyed this quick video. Just recorded another 2 videos before this, so hopefully you've got enough content. It's a Friday afternoon over here with me in Dubai, and I look forward to hearing from you pretty soon. If you do want my email as well, it's will.hodgson@4pointsolutions.com. You can also check out our website and see what we do for other clients around the world. So have a good weekend, guys, and look forward to hearing from you soon.